Hey, how you doing? This is Big Time Tylon here.
Greetings, everyone. This is the BTT, or the Big Time Tylonator.
Greetings, everyone. Yota is I.
Greetings, everyone. It is I, Mario, from the Mario Thug Army. And it is I, Luigi, from the Luigi Thug Mafia.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Dr. Tylon here, PhD in gaming medicine. Here for you for all your gaming needs.
What's up, y'all? This is Tylon the Ninja, Juggalo Supreme of the Pacific Northwest here. Yo, this is Tylon the Dog Walker.
This is Tylon the Dog Walker.
This is Tylon the Dog Walker. Yes, Tylon the Dog Walker.
Tylon the Dog Walker it is.
This is Tylon the Dog Walker.
This is Tylon the Dog Walker. Hey, big dogs and big dogsettes. This is Tylon the Ninja, doing my Tylon the Dog Walkers. A lot of things have happened since last time I made one of these, and since the last time Frank and Brian made a dog walks. Let's see. I kind of made a list here, sort of like go over stuff I've done or stuff I've been doing. First one is the videos and GIFs I made. Yeah, I'm still making GIFs, still making videos. All thanks to the Big Dog stream, because they definitely give me a lot of inspiration when it comes to making GIFs and videos. You know, I wouldn't have all these characters like Big Time Tylon or Juggalo Supreme or Dr. Tylon or all the other characters that I've done during the stream. It's all because of not only Frank and Brian, but all the big dogs in the chat, you know, making jokes and talking about stuff, and it really like boosts my imagination and really gives me a lot of inspiration to do what I do as far as GIFs and the videos I make. So really want to thank all y'all for that. You know, I really like all your feedback. I love it when you give me requests for GIFs and stuff, because it definitely gives me something to do. It can be difficult at times to come up with certain GIFs just because it's just hard for me to think of something. But when you guys give me requests, or when you guys give like funny jokes in the chat or whatnot, it definitely gives me the inspiration to make the GIFs for during the Big Dog stream. I remember one person in the chat asking where do I get all the costumes for my characters. So as a hobby, I cosplay, and I really just have like a closet and a box just full of different costumes I've done over the years, as well as different props I've had over the years. Like, for instance, when I did Dr. Tylon, I had a doctor's lab coat in my closet from a cosplay I did way back in like 2013, as well as a stethoscope. And then I also had a Twitch headband in my box of props from one time I went to PAX West, and the Twitch booth just, you know, they gave me a headband or a bandana. So I really just combined all those, and then I had this crappy pair of blue, you know, stutter shades or whatever they're called. Just from another year I worked at PAX. I just found a pair that someone left, and I just kind of thought it'd be my great, like, you know, gamer YouTuber, yeah. So yeah, that's great. And then when I do the Juggalo makeup, I literally just use costume makeup that I bought at a Halloween store during Halloween. It was literally just one day. I was just thinking, like, you know, Frank and Brian have been doing a lot of the Juggalo thing, so what if I just, you know, get some Halloween makeup and just practice with it and see if I can do it. And sure enough, I did, and I created the whole persona of Juggalo Supreme. The name Tylon the Ninja was actually something that that the Gluminati actually gave. That was a Juggalo name he gave me, so in honor of Gluminati, I chose the name Tylon the Ninja. Juggalo Supreme of the Pacific Northwest was just something I made up off the top of my head. Usually when I film these videos, it's done pretty much in like one take. I don't really have a script plan. I just do it. And it does at times take more than one take, because when you're doing it off the top of your head, you kind of like stumble on your words, and you all obviously see that in those videos, especially with like Big Time Tylon or Tylon Dun Ninja. Hardest usually to do is Dr. Tylon, because he talks really fast, so I have to come up with stuff to say really fast. Though when I did the Big Time Tylonator, I actually did write out a script, and basically that's what I did. I literally read off a script in a monotone, bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, because it's like, well, yeah, I can kind of do that, because there's no tone or anything. I can literally just read off a script in a bad Terminator voice impression, and then that'll do it. And then, yeah, I had a giant leather jacket from my Punisher cosplay for that. I always like wearing aviators. That's why I always give Big Time Tylon or the Tylonator the aviators, just because I always have a pair lying around. They're really the only sunglasses I own. I do have a pair of costume glasses, but they're not so good because they're very cheap, and like one of the lenses like popped off one time, and every time I have to pop the lens back in, but it never really stays in place. So that's always fun. Let's see. Oh yeah, so comics and manga I've read lately. So I still read Valiant. It's still one of my favorite publishers to read. I made a whole video about it, but I'll just give you a big refresher. I love the Valiant universe because it's a nice contained universe that's not like overly complicated, because I feel like, especially when I read Marvel comics now or DC comics, everything is so confusing because they keep rebooting stuff, or they keep like making all these plot holes or crossovers that just like make things so confusing. With Valiant, it's really great because a lot of the regular stories are self-contained, but they still do crossovers, but they're not like way out of hand or whatnot. So it does a really good job at following a story and doesn't really break the other stories when they do crossovers that much. So yeah. Another comic I read is The Immortal Hulk. That's the current Hulk series going on. I really like that because it's really different from the traditional Hulk stories. This one's way more horror themed, and it definitely gives a new type of Hulk with a different type of personality that I think is really great. And it's crazy. It's a crazy story, and I like it. It's a good one. I definitely recommend checking it out. I think they're like about 20 issues in the series, so it's really easy to catch up with them. Definitely very crazy, very gory. If you're not into that type of gore stuff, then yeah, I don't recommend it. But yeah, it's a good story. Let's see. As far as on the manga end, I still read Attack on Titan. It's a manga with a lot of ups and downs as far as like the story goes. Like there are certain arcs that are like really action packed, really fun, a lot of plot stuff, a lot of secrets revealed, and that's great. That's why I read it. But then there's also arcs where like nothing really happens. It's just a bunch of drama and like just stuff happening. And a few times I almost gave up on the series because of those arcs, because I just want to get to the action and see stuff be revealed. I don't want questions answered with another question. I don't want people just walking around in circles talking about gibberish. I'm just not into that type of stuff. So right now in the manga, they're just about finished with the manga. I've been reading the chapters as they come out each month. Have people translate it from Japanese and whatnot. So I like where they're going. I just kind of wish they would start wrapping things up a lot quicker. They've definitely been drawing out a bit more. I'm not going to reveal any spoilers. Don't worry about that. I'm just saying that the manga's about over. I know with the anime, the next season's going to be their last season. I haven't really watched much of the anime just because I've read the manga. I know what happens. So, especially if they do a season that evolves around a very boring arc, I'm definitely not going to watch the anime because I don't want to go through that stuff again. Another manga / anime I watch and read is Rising of the Shield Hero. That's definitely a manga I love to read and watch. It's an isekai. I know a lot of people really aren't into that, but I do like. It's a bit different from the normal isekai anime, it's just a fun anime to watch. It's really great story where you just have this underdog who's got a chip on his shoulder and always keeps getting the short end of the stick, but he ends up being the most powerful out of all the characters that are introduced. So yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. As far as shows, I watch shows now and then. I watched Watchmen. I'm still not sure whether or not I like or hate that show, but it at least keeps my interest. They got one more episode to go after filming this. But yeah, I love the soundtrack. I'm a big fan of Trent Reznor. Mandalorian, that's definitely the show I've been paying the most attention to. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. My dad is a huge Star Wars fan, so he definitely inherited that from him. And it's just a great show, just seeing stuff that takes place after Return of the Jedi, during that original trilogy period. It's something that I'm more comfortable with, and it's something I fully know. And I definitely get almost all the references that they give on that show. So it's definitely it's the Star Wars show that everyone wanted. As far as Rise of Skywalker goes, I'm not saying this movie's gonna suck. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that it's not really on the top of my list. I'll probably see it in theaters, but as far as if I have a decision between watching Rise of Skywalker or The Mandalorian, I'm definitely going to choose The Mandalorian because it's something I really like. And Rise of Skywalker hasn't really offered me anything to get really excited over. But once again, I'm not just going to flat out say this movie sucks. I'm going to see it and I'll learn what to expect from then. Let's see. As far as games go, played Outer Worlds from Game Pass. I freaking love that game. Huge fan of New Vegas, and I just love how Obsidian does RPGs. It's really well done. Combat's a little easy. I think that's one of the only things I have against it. But I love the conversation. I love the different routes you can take. I love the companions. All of that. I love Outer Worlds. I played Borderlands 3 when that came out. Gameplay is really good. Story isn't. And I'm really disappointed about that because I really wanted to see where the story went with this one, especially with how Borderlands 1, 2, pre-sequel, and Tales have kind of built up the world in the series, and I feel like Borderlands 3 just didn't understand that, and it was just a dud. Still fun to play. I'll play with my friends, but it really has turned me off from the series as far as that goes, lore-wise. And then I've been playing a lot of Halo Reach just because that was a game I was really into when I was in high school. That and Halo 3. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really played the campaign for Reach yet because I want to get my armor the way it was when I used to have it on the 360. But that involves a lot of grinding and multiplayer and firefight, which can be a little drag. But yeah, that's as far as it goes for games. Other than, playing Smash Bros. That's always a fun game to play. Let's see. I still play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. It's a great RPG game. I highly recommend anyone who's a little nervous about it. Great thing is that Dungeons and Dragons 5e is very easy for newcomers. I definitely recommend that. It's so fun, especially if you get a group of friends to do it with you. I know it's very tough to get people to meet up and meet up at once with conflicting schedules because, we all have jobs and responsibilities, but I know there are websites that make it easier to play D&D with other people. So yeah, I recommend that. I might make a video talking more about it. I know in one of my dog walker videos I talked a bit more about it. But yeah, Dungeons & Dragons, it's a fun game. There's also a Star Wars version, and I like that one too. Let's see, Game Days. Yeah, that happened. And I loved it. It was such a fun weekend. Got to hang out with a lot of big dogs. Got to hang out with a lot of internet soldiers. Got to just have a really good time. It was so fun. Can't wait for Scratchman to put out his game day video because he was filming the whole event, everything that happened. He had his camera on during it, so I'm really excited to see his videos. Follow Scratchman. He did a Game Days video last year, and it was so well done, so well edited. He did a really fun intro. But yeah, that's such a good video. I can't wait for that. I really enjoyed Game Days, and I really enjoyed meeting all y'all that went to it. And I guess I could end this off by talking about mental health and positive vibes, because I feel like that's something Frank and Brian talk a lot in their dog walks, or just in general. So yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to mental health. All I can go off of is just my own experiences, and I've had history of like depression and anxiety. I don't think it's really anything clinical. It's just I guess in my words, normal depression, normal anxiety. Um, I guess my best solution when it comes to depression is just to find ways to make you laugh, find things that you enjoy, and kind of just surround yourself in that. I'm not saying it's the solution because I feel like everyone is different when it comes to that solution. It just helps me when I just put on a show or put on a movie or just watch a bunch of YouTube videos I know I like, and that can usually make me happy enough to get out of that situation. As far as anxiety goes, I do get a lot of anxiety when it comes to planning for things. Like, for instance, game days. When I was planning for game days, I was on such high alert, high anxiety on making sure I had everything I need, everything was paid off and whatnot. And it didn't help that, like, a few weeks before game days, I got into a car accident that basically left my rear bumper hanging. And just like thinking about trying to get that replaced, the cost of that getting replaced, and that happening so close to game days, I was a mess. But you just gotta take a deep breath. You just gotta make a list of things you can do and things that you just can't do, and then once you see the things you can't do, I mean, you just gotta push out of your mind until the event comes when you can handle it, because spending all day worrying about what you can't do, just it's unhealthy, it's toxic. But yeah, you just gotta have a positive mindset. I mean, I know it's hard to have at times. There are times where it's just you can't think of anything positive. But like I said, if it means just sitting in your room watching videos that you love and maybe talking to your friends or whatnot, people definitely can help get you out of that situation, because it kind of reminds you of, like, yeah, no, you're not alone. You don't need this like everyone hates me vibe. If you just talk to people, you'll realize that, oh yeah, people do like me, I'm loved and whatnot. But yeah, that's really all the information I can give you involving that. I'm not really an expert on mental health, as well as I always feel like everyone is different. So what I say may help people, but it also may not help some people, because we're all built differently, and whatnot. Anyway, it's my time on the dog walker. I really enjoyed the dog walks video. Felt I should make one as well. And yeah, I'll see you all later. See you on the streams. Later.
Take it easy, y'all. OS for life. Remember to take it easy. And operating systems for life.
Easy you will take it. And remember, HDMI.
Take it easy, everyone. And remember, OS for life! Alright, make sure you take it easy, y'all. I'll be here 24/7 for your prescription gaming needs.
Stay frosty like a Faygo, y'all. Whoop whoop.